Have you ever pondered over whether you're a lone wolf or just an introvert? It's a question many of us ask ourselves. The distinction may seem subtle, yet it's quite significant. A lone wolf is someone who relishes solitude out of choice, cherishing their own company more than that of others. An introvert, on the other hand, may crave social interaction, but often finds it energy draining. Both share a common trait of enjoying solitude, but the motivations behind it vary greatly. Now let's dive into the signs that could indicate if you're a lone wolf. Sign number 1, you value your freedom above all else. Imagine a life where your decisions aren't bound by the expectations of others. That's what lone wolves relish. They thrive on their independence, preferring to make decisions solo. Accountability? They're comfortable with that. It's a price they're willing to pay for their freedom. They're not opposed to advice, but when it comes to making the final call, it's always their own. If you find yourself putting your freedom before anything else, you might be a lone wolf. Sign number 2, you are self-reliant. Lone wolves are often masters of self-sufficiency, comfortable in their own company and dependent on their own resources. They don't seek external validation or assistance for their needs or happiness. It's not about shunning help, but more about the confidence in their abilities and the satisfaction they derive from managing their own affairs. So if you find yourself perfectly okay being by yourself and relying on yourself for your needs, you might be more of a lone wolf. Sign number 3, you're not antisocial, but you prefer solitude. Now this is an important distinction to make. Being a lone wolf doesn't mean you're antisocial or dislike people. Quite the contrary, you might enjoy a good conversation, a hearty laugh, or a shared experience. But you also cherish your personal space. You relish those moments of solitude, those pockets of silence where you can reflect, recharge, or simply exist without any external demands or expectations. You may find yourself turning down social gatherings not because you don't want to interact, but because you value the tranquility of being alone. You understand that solitude isn't loneliness. It's a state of being that allows you to connect deeply with yourself, to nurture your inner world. You might choose a quiet evening at home over a bustling party, a solo adventure over a group trip. If you find peace and contentment in solitude more than in social gatherings, you're likely a lone wolf. Sign number 4, you're a nonconformist. Now, this is where the lone wolf truly stands out. Lone wolves by nature are not bound by conventional rules or societal norms. They value their individuality and relish in their uniqueness. They are not afraid to challenge the status quo, to question the why behind the what. They are more interested in creating their own paths rather than following pre-established ones. Their compass is their own inner voice, not the external world's loud clamor. They don't just fit into molds, they break them. They are the trendsetters, the trailblazers, the pioneers. So, if you find yourself marching to the beat of your own drum, not swayed by the crowd but moving to your own rhythm, then, my friend, you might be a lone wolf. Sign number 5, you're not afraid of being alone. This is where the lone wolf really diverges from the pack. While others may dread the thought of solitude, a lone wolf thrives in it. These individuals find comfort in their own company, relishing the silence and the freedom it provides. They don't equate being alone with loneliness. Instead, they see it as an opportunity to reflect, to explore their inner world, and to engage in activities they genuinely love. In these periods of solitude, they recharge, they grow, and they find their strength. They are their own best friend, their own harshest critic, their own source of motivation. If being alone doesn't frighten you, but instead it empowers you, you are probably a lone wolf. So, are you a lone wolf or an introvert? Let's quickly recap. You might be a lone wolf if you value freedom, are self-reliant, prefer solitude, aren't afraid of being alone, and are a nonconformist. Remember, whether you're a lone wolf or an introvert, there's no right or wrong. It's all about understanding and embracing who you are.